What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. The night is long yet before I don't even know. I'm just my brain is so scrambled from that last game. Honestly, like I was trying to think of something, but what I'm trying to say is we still have a whole lot of action-packed stuff for you coming for you guys tonight. But we got a couple of questions for us, Hawks. So why don't we just get right into it? Let's see what we got. First question is going to be dark horse candidate to make a run in the group stage, the best 3-1 team.
Okay, so this is like
Ooh.
team that's already qualified or that we expect to qualify.
Mhm.
Who is going to surprise us? This is a good one. I need to pull up the bracket. I need to make sure I have all of our teams that have qualified. Let's see.
Mm.
Okay. Also, spicy updates. Tempest Gaming. They just took down No Work. They have qualified.
Damn.
No Work sitting at 2-2. 0-2 on the day. Not what we were expecting, but my answer is going to be from the 3-1 teams.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say, I don't know if this is like a dark horse, but I'm going to say Maryville. I think they are the best 3-1 team that's not named 100X. And I say that because I think 100X is, they still got that hype around them, right? But Maryville has looked very good. Yes, they got destroyed by AOE in the last match, but I think they're looking very revitalized with Iconic, and it's a very good sign for this team. And I think just as far as like where we have them, they're seated a little lower this time around because they didn't perform as well at the last tournament. I think they should definitely be looking to contend somewhere top 8, top 4, maybe even finals.
Okay, yeah, I definitely see that. I think for me personally, I'm just gonna probably go with EGP. I think that I feel like what they've been putting down so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I feel like that was a team that we expected to go a lot further last tournament as well as this tournament right now. So I'm very curious to see how they're gonna perform moving forward. But speaking of moving forward, move on to the next question. Let's see what's next. What they got for us? What teams/players have impressed the most? Do we go with the obvious? Is the question.
The obvious?
I feel like the obvious would be either Masu or Kitsuo. Because I would say I'm gonna say Kitsuo just because I feel like Kitsuo honestly was just such a testament to what faith in your teammates kind of looks like. Because a lot of those flag and drags into the cataclysms kind of looked like a suicide run. They're like he was just jumping into the masses. He did not care for his own life. He's
that's the Jarvan experience.
That's the Jarvan experience. But he's like, my team has got my back. Masu is gonna break it down in the back, and they did exactly that. And there was, like we said in cast, there wasn't a single cataclysm that wasn't absolutely amazing and fight winning.
For sure, Kitsuo really did play a great game. I'm gonna say someone else because see, Kitsuo smurfed it, don't get me wrong, but I expect this from Kitsuo. I know that he's a great player, but a team that does impress me, Tempest Gaming, 3-1. I mean, we haven't seen them on stream, unfortunately.
True.
But they have qualified for their first group stage as an organization. They were a bubble team last time around, as mentioned. Now, with one game left, they're already in. They took down one of the tournament favorites in No-Org. This team looking really good, and so congratulations to them. I am very impressed by Tempest Gaming. They're sort of coming in with a revitalized roster. Frost Forest in the jungle, CLOL champion, former CLOL champion. So, yeah, congratulations to them, and I'm very impressed by their performance.
Yeah, definitely no easy feat, right? Take it out, No-Org. That was one of those teams that honestly, I'm sure I feel a lot of us kind of thought these might be the guys that end up going 5-0 or maybe 4-1, but it's like Tempest, they're like, no, sir, we about to put some hurt on them, and they did exactly that. And overall, I understand why you're impressed with them. Very nice to see. What's next, bro? What you got? What you got for us?
All right,
what team? Okay, I was about to say that looks like the same question. What team has the best social media presence?
I mean, it's DK Crew, right?
I think, yeah,
it just is. I think
DK Crew is just goated. Like
DK
they have,
Crew.
My God, the memes.
Wonderful social media. Their drawings of their little monkeys are very cute. Are they still doing those? I haven't seen one this tournament. They had it last tournament. If they're not still doing them, then I change my answer to someone.
I'm trying to think if there's another team with a.
I mean, there's other teams that have had pretty strong social media. I feel like it's not particularly flashy. I feel like actually Team Ambition, they do a pretty good job of just like.
That's true. Yeah.
So like they have social media. They get the word out about what's happening. They've been streaming their own games as well when they're not here on Academy stream.
Yeah.
But that's pretty basic. It's not quite as exciting as DK Crew. I feel like there's got to be like another one though.
Big Duck Energy also has some pretty good socials. I've been following them a little bit. They post some good memes every now and then as well. So that's definitely something. But honest, I think you just gotta give it a DK Crew. They were like the OGs.
Yeah, they're doing some pretty good things over there with the social media. Looking at the list, there's some other ones that are pretty decent. But I agree. I mean, DK Crew, they came out of the scene, and yeah, they've earned the hype that they've gotten and the fans that they've gotten for sure.
Yeah. Overall, what can you say? Hey, nice to see it. Let's see what is next here. Which team won the craziest upset? We've seen a lot of interesting games today. Like it's one of those days where it's kind of hard to pick almost, and that's not that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, which team has won the craziest upset? I mean, it's gotta be Ginger Turmeric beating 100X, right? Like that has to be it.
I feel that. No, I definitely feel that.
Like, Noorg losing is definitely shocking, and Tempest Gaming is definitely a team that doesn't have quite the same like expected level as Ginger Turmeric. But also, like, it is like Noorg is kind of coming in after having not played for a year and a half. Most of the players having not played for a year and a half, and even though it is definitely like they're former LCS Academy players, there is rightfully a lot of expectation behind them. It's like it's a little bit more excusable in that way, I guess. Whereas for 100X, like I think them dropping a game in OQs at all is surprising. It hasn't happened all year. And Ginger Turmeric, while a great team, don't get me wrong, I think many people would not have put them on the same level as 100X. And so to see them take that win is, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to hop in the backpack with you on that one. Like, just carry me through that question because there's nothing more to be said to that. Honestly, I think we were all pretty surprised when we got the news, and so overall, that's definitely gonna be the biggest upset. The next question, though. That was the last one. I'm trolling.
That's the last one.
That's the last question. It's a wrap, indeed. I was looking. I was like, why weird? That's a weird question. It's just blank. But regardless, that is the last question. So we'll go to a quick break as we wait for the next couple of matches to be decided, and then when we're back, we've got one final game for you guys tonight. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it.
It's going to be a good one.
And welcome back, everybody. That's right. You saw it right. Cincy Fierce coming back, baby. And they're going up against the one and only AOE Esports. Both contesting for that 5-0 title. Looking to go undefeated in the OQs. Big homie is muted, but it was definitely just hyping it up because for once in our lifetime, it's not 100 Thieves. You love to see it. So it's someone new. There we go. I think he's back.
Testing. We hearing me?
There we go.
There we go. I don't know what happened. But we're here. It's Cincy Fear in the 5-0 match. And joining them is AOE. As I was about to say, it is not 100 Thieves next. We got two new teams that are going to go in as the number 1 seed into this group stage. And although, everyone's made the group stage, and that is what we're really playing for, that number 1 seed, there's bragging rights on the line, there's 5 championship points on the line, and really, that seeding can come into play in a huge way later on. So, it's a huge match.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is seed 3 and 4, right? Cincinnati Fear and AOE Esports were these two very highly acclaimed teams, and I don't feel like we need to touch too much on Cincy Fear since, I mean, we already saw them absolutely just destroy it in our first match. But I do feel like we do need to talk a little bit about AOE Esports and just the roster and go down their team a little bit.
Yeah, and for AOE, the constant throughout the year has been Winnie in the jungle, the man that makes the plays happen. He will walk into your jungle, take all your camps, take your life, take your laners' lives, and then leave without elaborating. It is brutal. And this really is a player that is just such a playmaker, and supporting him, 2 very talented solo laners in Zamudo and Young that are just seasoned veterans at getting pressure. And I say seasoned veterans kind of in air quotes because Zamudo, this is his first major competitive year on third party in the spring, now playing for AOE, and a prospect that a lot of people have built a lot of hype around. And this AOE roster, they've been in the 4-0 match 3 times in a row now. They've lost to 100 Thieves twice. Now they have the chance to beat Cincinnati Fear and be that #1 overall seed. They continue to show that consistency. They've made 3 straight semifinals as well. And this is just a team that is consistently at the top of the table. And again, that constant is Winston.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that just adds so much more pressure to it as well. You've been in this situation twice before, obviously against a different team, but Cincinnati Fear is looking just as scary, hence the name. They're looking just as scary as 100 Thieves right about now when they're looking to run it for that 5-0 victory spot. Overall, I mean, even, you're only getting 5 points extra. It's still, that's a great feeling going undefeated in OQs, and just in general, makes you look pretty damn good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like, it's kind of those bragging rights we were talking about. You can look amazing if you get that 5-0. But let's look forward now to this game. Cincinnati Fear and AOE. I talked a little bit about how AOE likes to play through Winston with these pushing strong solo laners. Cincinnati Fear, we saw earlier, they play for their lanes. And we've been talking a lot about this, like, playing for your jungler versus playing for your lanes thing, but something that we need to make abundantly clear is this is going to be a very explosive early game. Cincinnati Fear has been winning almost all their games through just straight up outlaning their opponents, and AOE, they do something very, very similar.
Yeah, Sketch especially, like, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that they straight up put Plux on the Leona in their last game as well, just to be that engager for Sketch to do whatever the hell he wants. And from what I hear, Sketch did exactly that and was just absolutely busted once again in the last match that they just played.
Yeah, Sketch has looked like the best AD carry in amateur over the last split in this summer. Just absolutely turning on the insane skills in the last tournament as the team sort of ramped up into the knockout stage. And then now here in the OQs has been a huge X factor for this team. And Sketch and Plux as a duo have been laning out of their minds. Nobody has been able to contest them in that laning phase. No one's been able to get an advantage from them, and in fact keep them from getting an advantage. And that's such an incredible place to be in, because Sketch has always been an AD carry that could be relied upon later on. But now to see him be this turbo 2v2 win lane kind of ADC, the team fighting remains. That's what makes it so scary. The team fighting's still there, but now he's also outlaning people and getting his own advantages and just ending games on the spot.
Yeah, speaking of lanes, I do want to kind of pick your brain on a little bit. Obviously, as we talked about, right, both of these teams, very strong solo laners. Do you feel like we're going to see even more of an emphasis on Trickster trying to get into Dragoon and Blaze's lanes and get them slightly more ahead? Or is it kind of just going to be more as we saw in our first match as well, where Trickster is going to look to just carry it himself as well and get Giga fed?
Yeah, that's a really interesting dynamic that sort of goes with Cincinnati Fear and the way they play around their jungler, because Trickster is someone that can carry a game. Like we talked about this in game 1. He's someone that can carry a game, but he's also so accustomed to playing these lanes, and I think it really just comes down to what will happen in the draft. Things that we can expect: hard carry for Sketch. Things that we can also expect: probably an enchanter for Plux. I know he played the Leona last game, but they've been favoring things like that Yuumi with the Twitch and the Zeri, like these kind of hyper carry styles. And I think if that's the case, I'm expecting Trickster to be a little bit more in that facilitator role, because you lose some of that playmaking from support. So that's definitely what I'm sort of expecting from Cincinnati Fear, but they are a team that has shown many faces. It is this bot focus style that has been the most successful, but that's not to say it's the only style.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen from Cincinnati just over the course of the last couple of splits that they don't have to necessarily do that, right? They have a plethora of other ways that they can achieve that victory. I'm envisioning right now, it's just the chat full of hashtag Fear Us right now, right? You've got all the Cincinnati Fear boys getting hyped up. And let's get hyped up because we're getting into the last draft of tonight. AOE Esports about to throw hands with Cincinnati Fear.
And man, I'm excited that these two teams are playing. There's some similarities to these teams. The manager of Cincinnati Fear, former owner of AOE Esports, the founder of AOE Esports.
Oh, Lord.
Riley, no longer with the organization, but did so much for AOE, and now 2022 is sort of their new beginning as an org, and it's awesome to see what this team has been doing in the scene, in the space, without that leader, and you know, coming into their own and being a mainstay of the amateur scene. And for Cincinnati Fear, having Riley now, they're a newer org. They've already found so much success. Sketch played for AOE in 2021 summer, went to Proving Grounds with this team. So there's some similarities between these teams, and I think many can draw those lines, and they're related in sort of that way. And I think even in the way they play, that sort of style, it shows through of just strong lanes, and let's fight early. And that's what I know we can expect as AOE respect bands away, flexes Yuumi.
Yeah, definitely want to get that off the board. Also checking out the stats from the prior game. Sketch going 10-2 with the Zeri, putting up crazy numbers. Wonder if we're going to see the Zeri ban come out as well, or if they're just going to be like, you know, we banned that. He's going to move on to a separate pick. And they are going to get rid of the Tristana, actually. So maybe they want the Zeri pick to happen.
Yeah, with the Yuumi being removed, Zeri is a lot less enticing. She's still more than serviceable. We saw Scary Jerry still do pretty well with it with the Lulu last game, but it is definitely not quite the same. And I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to force Sketch and Plux off of some of their more comfort picks and onto things that are more easily killed. Because I talked about Winnie, and he's someone that likes ganking anywhere, wherever he can find it. If there's a play, he'll be there. And if you can put Sketch on something that can be killed, he will come and kill you, or he'll try at least. So that seems to be the strategy that AOE is going for. Whereas Fear, they want to remove seems some Zamudo's champion pool, trying to get a favorable matchup for Dragoon.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I wouldn't even mind seeing that. We got to see Sketch pop off in game number 1. Maybe it's time for Dragoon to flex his muscles a little bit. Same thing for Blaze, right? Even though obviously he was performing incredibly well in game 1 too, it really was just kind of the Sketch show, it feels like, especially with that pentakill that he put up on the board.
Yeah, and the Darius ban signals to me that maybe AOE wants to go for a weak side top laner. They don't want to let Dragoon just beat up Zamudo on a matchup. Maybe an Ornn early rotations. That way you can blind pick top and then get a counter pick somewhere else. We'll have to see what ends up coming of that. But either way, last ban about to come through from Cincinnati Fear. Lots of power picks still available. Wukong, Lucian, Seraphine, a champion we've seen banned out a lot, not being taken away. Now, Winnie has not been the biggest connoisseur of Wukong so far in the Proving Grounds 2022 summer circuit qualifiers. He's not really, it's not been his go-to champion. He's more like some of those more higher agency playmakers, but it will be picked. Okay. So worth noting, it's not necessarily the biggest comfort pick, but still very strong in the current meta.
Yeah, definitely. Regardless, I'm sure he has all the skills needed to pilot it, even if he doesn't necessarily always, you know, like to show off with it. But regardless, that being picked up, now it's up to Cincinnati Fear. They've got 2 picks available. Curious to see if they just maybe just pick the ball and they're like, this is what we're going to work with. Let's see what you got. Oh, hovering the Belveth. We talked about the Belveth in our broke or woke section, and they bait us again. It's going to be the
okay. That's kind of exciting, though.
God,
that is an Udyr locked in for Trickster. We're looking, again, early game, play for lanes. Well, you know who's good at that too? It's Udyr. He runs at you, he bear slaps you, and then he runs away. And you're dead. And it can work really, really well. This is a super exciting pick. I know lots of players have sort of been keeping their eye on Wukong. It's been creeping into the meta slowly but surely, and with something like a Karma, it is definitely well enabled.
Yeah, those empowered Q's going to be doing a whole lot of poke damage, especially in those early levels. But regardless, some picks coming out now from AOE Esports. Maybe we get a bit of a better idea as to what it looks like they're going to be landing here. Really taking their time, though. Very curious to see what they end up picking up for themselves. Oh my god, they're really going to make me wait till the last second. Ooh, the Callista being hovered. It's not finalized just yet. There we go. Okay, that's a pick that I like to see as well. A lot of mobility coming out from that.
Blind Callista does scare me a little bit, though. It does open you up for a counter pick, but it is a lane kingdom pick, and if you're looking to play aggressively, that is an answer. Now, Karma is a super, super strong laner, and so if the Karma does end up going support, which I'm currently expecting it to, that does mean that Fear will have pretty good push potential. So AoE, whatever they lock in here, needs to have some good laning ability, but Rakan, not really that. So the 2v2 from AoE, very threatening in the all-in, but in terms of wave control, not actually that strong. And I wonder if you could lock in something like Ezreal right here for Fear and just play at arm's length, never get close to the Callista Rakan.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like they're honestly looking to just answer aggression with aggression. It almost feels like, right, that Sketch likes to get up in your face. We talked about how he was just loving running those 2v2s in the bot lane there, looking to get fed off of that. And so, yeah, answer with the Kalista, the Rakan, you can keep your distance. And the Ezreal coming out, your standard sort of, Karma Ezreal bot lane. Nothing really too surprising there.
Yeah, it is exactly what we were expecting the Ezreal to come through. And remember, Fear doesn't have to destroy you early game. That's what they've been doing. But they are a team that has been able to find wins through just sublime team fighting as well. We were praising in the earlier game Blaze and Sketch for their team fight play. Remember, Fear actually almost lost a team fight to Jake's Kittens, but Sketch was able to clutch it out and get that pentakill. So it's not like Fear needs these hard-winning, aggressive lanes. And Ezreal Karma is just a very safe, consistent push type of lane, and it can keep Lynx and Skytech down in the 2v2, and then the team fights be exceptionally strong.
Yeah, definitely. Some more bans coming out, though. Zir being taken off the table here by AOE Esports. Obviously, very mid-focused. Fear as well, getting rid of the Syndra there as they wait for their second ban. Curious to see, you think we're just going to see pretty much just only mid just being taken off the board now?
That's what I would expect. Zamudo's pool has already been pinched pretty heavily, so I don't think Fear feels the need. They wanted to remove the safe blinds, and then now they're chilling. I could maybe see something like an Ornn being banned out, but I think that would make AoE's composition a little too low damage, so it is actually a LeBlanc. Syndra is a champion that Young has put a lot of games in on. In the first Circle Qualifier, it's one of his favorites. Other champions that Young is very partial to, Irelia. I think it actually could make a lot of sense here if you're looking to play dive. AoE could maybe bust it out, but Irelia blind is not super safe, and I am expecting blind pick for Dragoon, counter pick for Blaze. We'll have to see what ends up happening, because I don't think you can go wrong either way. Counter picking for Dragoon or Blaze is both good, but just looking at the way these drafts are sort of shaping up, I think mid priority is going to be really important for Fear, because otherwise AoE has a lot of playmaking on the bottom side, and your safe Ezreal Karma isn't quite so safe anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, there it is, right? Blind was looking for Dragoon, are hovering that Camille, but that pretty much tells us that's what they're looking to do here, is they are hovering it. Curious if they're actually going to lock it in or swap last second, 2 seconds on the clock. Oh! What? Okay, they said now, screw that. We're getting Dragoon that counter pick.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze doing his best Robbie Bob impression, and it does open up the Irelia. I'm going to say, Irelia can be played into this matchup, but Karma Ezreal Victor, that is a classic team fight core. You can never go wrong with that, and Udyr can provide some pretty consistent frontline as well. We'll have to see if this one ends up being locked in. I just know this is a comfort matchup for Young. He's probably played it a million times, but it's the handshake. It's the handshake. It's not. It's not the explosiveness. I understand why you would do this if you're AoE, because otherwise your composition gets heavily outranged, and playing Irelia into Karma is actually really frustrating because of the movement speed buffs, and tether is super hard to ever escape from. However, you're always hoping for the explosive picks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Really a lot of hovers coming out here, though, for that last pick of AOE Esports, and they are going to lock it in with the Riven, and with that, we have the whole comp of AOE Esports on the map here. Now we got to find out what Cincinnati Fear going to answer. That last remaining pick can make or break that they get this 5-0 total series. What's it going to be, Dragoon? What you looking to pick up, brother? That's what I want to know right now.
Blind Riven is...
It's a statement.
Really,
it's a statement.
That is a statement. Zamudo.
It's a statement.
I'm wondering if AoE's draft here is a little bit of like a Sephora match. Like, let's flex a little. Now, I'm sure they also want to play this, but it is going to be the set for Dragoon, something we have not seen in the top lane for quite a long time. Other than that game I mentioned where Robbie Bob deleted one. However, that's neither here nor there. The set into the Riven matchup, you are kind of just like, you have more stats than Riven. You're tankier, you have a lot of regen, and you trade pretty effectively into Riven when she's dashing around. You kind of are just like punching her in the face. So
yeah,
it actually is a pretty good matchup for the set. I am really interested to see how Zamudo plays this one out. The gank threat favors Fear as well. Udyr pre-6 will be able to make more plays, especially if you go something like the Ghost. Run in, again, bear slap, refuse to elaborate, get a kill. It's super effective. So we'll see how Zamudo navigates this one, because in the 2v2, I really am expecting Udyr set to have the advantage. But if Zamudo does get ahead, this could be a huge X Factor pick because not only is Riven super strong as a duelist, she team fights exceptionally well. She can find follow-up engages onto something like this Rakan with tremendous AoE. So let's see how that ends up going.
Yeah, just in general, just touching on team fights, I'm really liking the ult synergy coming out from AoE, right? You've got the Rakan, the quickness. He can dash right in. He gets a little bit in danger. Pull him out with the fake call that comes out then from Lynx on that Kalista, right? And then you can just send him right back in if you need to. The cyclone that's coming out from Winnie is going to be absolutely huge, keeping the suppression going and allowing Zamudo to just dish out the damage. And, you know, if you need to, you got the poke coming out from Young as well on the Corki.
Yeah, and there is a decent amount of damage for AoE. I was worried about the low damage just if they went to something like an Ornn, and they didn't. They went for the Riven. So that does mean that this like lower damage ADC and Kalista will just be able to focus on doing what she does best, and that's being a huge nuisance in team fights by jumping around and pulling out her support, and while doing damage over the top. So I did just get word, Set Udyr is the same top jungle that was played last game by Fear in their win. So we have seen this before, apparently, as Dragoon and Trickster. They're going to run it back. Clearly comfortable in this sort of style. I don't know. Actually, I can pull up the screenshot right here. It was Udyr in response to Lilia, or I would actually imagine it was Lilia in response to Udyr. So it's not the same jungle matchup, but Trickster clearly enjoying the champion or see something in it. Maybe workshopping it now that he's qualified. I don't know. Either way.
They got the win, right? So, I mean, something clearly must have worked out, and now they just got to fine-tune it. Quite the statement to look to fine-tune it in this final match, but if anyone can do it, it's definitely Cincinnati Fear, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, I got to ask, now that we've kind of seen these comps coming out, who's Trickster giving the most love to? What do you think?
Oh. Who am I giving the most love to? I think I'm giving my love to Cincy Fear. They're the ones that have made the finals. They have a very plug-and-play composition as well. I like what they've got here, and I think Cincinnati Fear, I think they can pull it out of the 5-0. The burden of execution right now is on AoE. They have to make plays to win this game. Fear does not, and that always means that the game will be harder for that playmaking team, because if you're not able to find it, you will just lose. And so Fear, if you're able to sit back, if you're able to find your own plays, you can end up pulling out the win, and this team fight comp will be extremely strong.
Well, all in one way to see if they can get it done, and that's to get on the Rift itself. The final game of tonight is going underway. One team will leave here being 5-0, and one team will have to go home with their heads low as they are 4-1. Already, I think we might be seeing some level 1 shenanigans coming out here.
Yeah, Cincinnati Fear, they want to go and for the level 1 invade, but good ward. Skytech spots that one out. It will be cleared. XP? XP! There we go. Blaze, he's going to hit level 2, a minion earlier, which actually is pretty good. Assuming that ward kill wasn't shared between all 5, which I don't think everyone hit it, right? Because you can't. So I think it's... I think Blaze will hit 6 off of 1 wave. I think that's how that works. But either way, nice spot out. AoE doesn't fall victim. I do want to point out, Zamudo with the Ignite. He wants kills. He wants kills, Echo. I am loving this.
Yeah, no, you love to see some good old-fashioned, just absolute blood flowing on the battlefield itself. And this time around, when you have 2 of these heavy-hitting teams, it's just what you got to do. You got to get your hands dirty. You're not going to win from playing passively. Or, you know, maybe you can find a way to do that. If you can get that pacifist run going, I'd be very impressed. Can we get like a 0-0 game? Just let the minions finish it. That'd be interesting to see as well.
Would it though? I
Probably not. Yeah, no. True. Let me not curse us with that. Let me not.
Yeah, I mean, I would have fun. I think you'd be kind of bored, but
My God, though. Yep. Speaking of not being bored, they're already looking to find something here. Plux is going to be forced to burn the flash, but now Sketch looking to find something here. He's been dishing out some damage the whole time. Link's getting considerably low, but Sketch doesn't want to risk anything just yet. Regardless, though, flash is out from Plux. Ignite is out from Plux, and the heal being burned from Sketch. So that's a lot of key sums down.
Yeah, it's Summoner Spell advantage in favor of AoE, but I think AoE actually, in the short term, really loses out on this. Link's not having the Longsword 3 pot star like Sketch has, so Sketch having the sustained advantage, and was basically full health from that trade anyway, so Cincinnati Fear, they're not feeling too terrible about this. It's up to Winston to really come and punish us. But remember, Pre-6 Wukong, not the best ganker in the game. Now, having a Rakan Kalista makes it a little better, but before their 6 as well, it's unreliable setup.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit of trading going off in the top lane. There was Zamudo and Dragoon. But not quite find anything just yet. Winston, though, looking to move. Maybe they look for something here. This level 3. I'd love to see that. Talked about how you want to get your hands dirty, and the engage is coming into Flash actually to get onto Plux. And remember, Plux has no Flash. Won't be able to get out of there even if he tries. Come on, the Pierce. There we go. First of blood going into the hands of Winston. Very nice.
Well, they got it. They punished the Flash being down, and it's first blood for Winston. Probably the last person that you ever want to give a kill to on AOE. Nice hard commit. I was worried they wouldn't have the damage, but this is why these guys are challenger. They knew they had the damage, and they were able to chase down the kill. Now, this is why Udyr is considered a good champion right now. I want you to look at the farm differential in the jungle. And yeah, like, Udyr didn't gank, and Wukong did, so that is a difference maker. But Udyr has full clear his jungle and did crab in the time Wukong did 4 camps and a gank. That is absurd. And Winston will lose his red buff for it as Trickster just gonna steal that one away.
Yep, just grabbing that one. Witty needs to be careful running into Plux here. But I don't think much is going to come out of it. Looking for that fight.
Careful.
Yeah, definitely needs to be careful. Yo, props to Winnie, though. Like, he is not scared. He will sit there. He's like, you're not taking my Raptors for free, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Winston knows, like, he's not going to die to the Karma Udyr. It's just he can't, like, walk up to them completely alone. But in that choke point right there, the Udyr Karma, he's so close to his tower, cannot chase him. And Plux being level 2 as well, it makes it difficult. So, like, Winston, respect for standing his ground right there, able to smite away the big Raptor, but it's still a huge play for Trickster. He's going to steal away the top crab too, and Young getting frozen on here mid, forced off the wave by Plux. Cincinnati Fear, their early waves feel super good right now in their early jungle pathing. So despite losing that kill, they're very content with the pace of this game, and as long as they don't start hemorrhaging more gold on the bottom side, they should be fine.
Definitely going to look to patch that up, but now first objective up in 10 seconds as well. We see this wave going to be crashing in here on the spot side, and AOE Esports going to move up already, but the recall coming out from Winnie. So I'm just going to look to just clear some vision, look to try and find something here. Curious to see what they're opting to do, though.
Yeah, and it's really awkward because now Winnie has nothing to farm, right? Because all of those camps were stolen away, and it took him so long to do his bottom side camps because of the gank. So it's the same thing again. Everything has an opportunity cost. You get a kill, but what does it cost? And at the end of the day, it's worth it to get a kill if you're AOE. Do not get me wrong. Like, it was a good play, but it's about how Cincinnati Fear has just really intelligently punished, and even though it doesn't look like they've done anything, they've actually taken a lot, and they've kept this game very even.
Yeah. Now with that drag up, we see Winnie has moved down into the bottom here. All right. Oh, they're going to get spot up by that word. Finally, they realize it's there. So that information is going to allow Cincinnati Fear to respond accordingly. We're already seeing multiple rotations coming out. Yep, Young is 6, and he's looking to move over as well. Fighting for this Gromp right now. The engage coming out from Skytech, though, with the knock of that grand entrance. Going to look to find something here. The sketch getting lower and lower. Going to use Arcane Shift to get over the wall. Poking with those Qs, and they'll find themselves the kill onto Winnie.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yo, Trickster is just a menace right now, running him down. Flash coming out, the Chaos Storm doing so much damage. Come on! Can he find it? The stun out onto Young. Gets 1, looks to get 2 here as well. Young trying to get a kill, but he won't quite find it. A double kill going into the hands of Blaze, and that's quite the setup for Blaze to pop off.
AOE was feeling strong, but Fear was just stronger. Udyr is too strong in the early game. I'm going to say strong as much as I can because it's just true. Skytech tries to freeze.
Yep. Oh, no. It does get dropped indeed. The kill going to go into the hands of Sketch as well. That's exactly what he's looking for. They grabbed the Drake. They've grabbed themselves all these kills, in Cincinnati Fear already off to a great start.
And did I just see Blaze with the upgraded laser already? That's such an early one. It's because with 3 takedowns, you get so many of those Hex Core stacks. It's absolutely huge. And look at this, AoE, they have Young at level 6, but he's low on mana, so despite getting the Gromp, they can't actually turn the fight in Sketch. So much credit. Stays in the fight for as long as humanly possible before shifting out, makes it so that Winston and Skytech are in too deep. And now, Skytech and Lynx, flashless, they can't really get out. Young has the flash, but nothing else. And although SkyTech doesn't drop until later, it's just a huge punish from the side of Cincinnati Fear. That is 4 unanswered kills on the bottom side off of a play that AOE started.
Yeah, it's great position from Blaze as well. Really patient, realizing that those kills are going to be coming in. Look at that SkyTech, nowhere to go. Grand entrance to try and get away, just barely gets stuck in that Gravitum field and will go down. Hate to see it.
And I'm going to continue the Blaze hype train of the day because this guy, once again, is looking bad. 2 kills, 1 assist, and some decent farm to boot. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Blaze has looked so good in summer 2022.
Yep. Whoa, huge engage coming out though. There's been like, Blaze, you cursed him again, man.
My bad, guys.
Last time it was Robbie Bob, and this time you do it to Blaze, man. Just as you say that, a huge flash grand entrance coming in from SkyTech, and they picked themselves up that kill.
That's my fault. I completely wished that into existence. Apparently, anytime I praise a Victor player today, they get instantly murdered. But good play from AOE. Blaze having no flash from the flash forward that we saw in the previous play. Does get taken down, and that's a pretty big kill picked up for Young, allowing the Corki to try to scale alongside the Victor. So it is a very positive answer. AOE showing that they're very adept at answering back teams, and I do think that is part of what makes them one of those great teams here in Amateur. Is when you're a team that plays all gas, no breaks, you've got to realize and accept that not everything is going to work for you, and it's about how you respond to that. And AOE is a team that's very well accustomed to having that happen, and it doesn't mean they're still down, but only a couple hundred gold.
Yeah, 9 minutes in, and we already have the majority of Cincinnati Fear just chilling in AOE Esports jungle. Like, if they're, that is just like a testament to the all gas, no breaks. They're like, we are taking over the map. You can either die or go back to Fountain. Your choice. We'll be merciful enough and give you an option.
Yeah, poor Winnie has not gotten a red buff this game. That feels really bad as a jungler. Yeah. Like, that sucks, man. But nice play. Plux has been pretty key on these roams ever since that first blood has positioned really, really well. And I don't even think the first blood was necessarily a mispositioning. It was just a good commit from AOE. And it is these small plays that are maintaining Cincinnati's gold advantage. But we've talked a lot about this over the last couple days. You know, the difference between like aggression in the sense of kills, which we have seen, but also aggression in the sense of pressure. Cincinnati Fear is aggressively pushing their lanes and using that to create small advantages. And even though it doesn't show in the scoreboard, it's about investing in the future, and they've done that super well.
Yeah, now I will say, haven't seen too much coming out yet from that top lane right. Zamudo and Dragoon have just been chilling up there. Slight CS advantage coming out from Zamudo. And now that Simeon like Trickster has been spotted out trying to grab themselves a free Herald, maybe we finally see a bit more scuffling coming down. Right now, Zamudo can't move, though, and so Winnie gonna do his best to just try and apply some pressure. Use those denting blows, get a little bit of damage in, see what it can do. Oh, did he steal? Ah, no, he didn't steal that. Oh, he did. He stole it with the smite. That's so nice to see. But now there's no smite up, obviously, for the actual Herald itself. Dragoon is here as well to just shove him off. He does have package indeed. It is 3 members, though, so you got to pick your time wisely. Looking to pick it now. Hops right back over the wall. Gonna try and find something here, though, onto Trickster. Gonna get up the quickness, getting dropped, going gold with the Chaos Storm on top of him. Things are not looking too good for SkyTech, but there we go. Fake calling. Gonna go ahead, make sure that SkyTech gets out of that one with a sliver of health. His name looks to me like it was about 50 HP. Close call, to say the least.
Close call to say the least, but Trickster gets out too, and that's just a Herald for no kills. I am very surprised that nobody died right there. I like the attempt from Young to try to cut off the Udyr, but unfortunately, Young doesn't really do that much damage yet. Winston doesn't do that much damage to the Udyr because he's stacking armor, and then nobody else was there. And I do want to mention, Zamudo is up 30 CS in the counter matchup. Well, I say counter matchup, maybe not, but Dragoon had the counter pick there. But Zamudo performing really well, but critically was not really a factor in that fight at all. Was not able to get in, was not able to use that Ignite or any of the dashes to try to find a kill. So still waiting for the Riven's time to shine. Again, Zamudo, relatively new player in the amateur scene. This is his first year in the Proving Grounds level and has impressed a lot of people with his performances. Yeah. So a bright young player for certain. And we're just waiting. We're waiting for that impact to come through.
Listen, yeah, he's just building up the hype, man. He's doing our job for us. We don't even gotta hype him up. He's staying, he's keeping his head down until he's looking for the come up. And so it's only a matter of time until we see him do something crazy. But for now, you can see that tier 1 in that bot lane has been taken down already. 12 minutes in. As for drags, 1 for AOE Esports, 1 for Cincinnati Fierce. So no one really too close yet to that soul point. No one to pressure that just yet. Fairly even at the moment. Gold, same real ordeal, only about 1k up. Now, fun fact, Skytech for Con, 13-2. About 4 KDA and 70% kill participation. They love to see it as a support.
That kill participation is the stat that really sticks out to me. The win-loss, not the most impressive, but clearly Skytech very involved in the plays when he plays as champion. And as he should be. Rakan is a playmaker. We've seen Skytech really trying to create a lot. Not everything has worked, but 0, 1, and 2 so far. It's been a pretty good performance. Has been instrumental in both of AoE's kills. Narrowly avoided dying, too, around the Herald. That always feels good.
Yeah.
You never like to int when you're support. Because support, like, let's be honest, support's the inting role. Like, your job is to die for your team.
It's to die.
Whether it's to engage or to peel or what, like, you are a body. And that's it, basically. So
throw yourself at them.
Yeah, and like I know players like Hillisang in the LEC, right? Like they get crap for like sometimes being inters, but that is what makes a good support, in my opinion, is the willingness to die.
This is not us condoning you to go into your solo queue and just run it down if you're support. That's not what we're saying. Just to make that crystal clear.
Any ruined solo queue games, we are not responsible for this. But yeah, it comes with the job for sure. So.
Oh man, it comes to the territory. But regardless, already seen the switches coming up here. We've got taking links moving up in that top lane while Dragoon heading on down here. But overall, pretty slow now that these initial engagements are over with. A little zoom in on Zamudo here, just wandering around in the jungle here, looking for something to do.
Yeah, Zamudo really wanted a jungle camp to be up, but tragically, it was not. Udyr swallows camps like a garbage can. It's insane. That champion, Udyr, like, seriously, that champion farms so fast. And when you're a jungler, you can't 1v1 him either. So, like, it's so hard to ever get an advantage against Udyr because it just always feels like he's first to the play. And then even if he's not, he beats you. The fun comes when it's like 20 minutes into the game and Udyr can't do anything except for, like, menacingly run at you. But we are not there yet. So, and you know, Trickster playing a very nice game so far for himself.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta say, scariest thing I've witnessed in a while is like a fed Udyr with a Yumi, dude, who just runs, like, the moment he runs at you, you know you're done. And speaking of that, Winnie kind of in a bad spot here. Actually, never mind. They might turn this thing around. They get Blaze. Chaos Storm doing a lot of damage to Skytech, though, but for right now, the disengage coming out. And overall, they get themselves to pick onto Blaze and get out safely. I thought that for sure they were going to die there, but hey, they come out on top.
Yeah, what a beautiful turn from AOE. And not only that, they didn't overextend for the extension. They said, hey, guys, we got our kill. We don't need to press. And so they back away in what could have been a dicey fight. Just super nicely done. They sniff out the gank 4v3, and they make it a 3v3. And with Rakan, again, that playmaking ability, Victor was not expecting that engage and gets taken down. So a super clean turnaround. And again, Cincinnati Fear, they got all 4 of their kills around that one play that AoE started. And after that, they have not really been able to get too much going other than that first tower Herald bot. But that was somewhat inevitable. And credit to AoE for finding these opportunities. Again, when you are an all gas, no breaks team, sometimes you got to understand that you're going to hit a cinder block. But it's about how you walk away from the cinder block. So
I don't know if you're walking away if you're crashing into a cinder block. I hope you had your seatbelt on, you know, at the very least. Yeah, I'm hoping that for you.
That's the analogy. If you're gonna drive fast, wear your seatbelt. That's
hey, I like that. I like that. That's a good
We're
message.
gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it here. Base speed limits. Just putting that out there. But you know, we're definitely,
if you feel so inclined.
But
to go super
definitely
fast.
wear your seatbelt because you know, that's what about being safe. Taco Gaming has qualified. I think I said I picked them as my 1 and 2 run. I'm glad to see them make it. We'll probably see some more updates popping in from the 2 and 2 matches over the course of this game. It is second dragon. 7 seconds till spawn. Package up. 1-1. So not too much at stake here, but AoE has control.
They are going to opt to send Dragoon up in the top lane, look to split push. And yeah, they're just going to give this drag over, honestly. Don't even want to risk it. Maybe get that free Herald trade with that package up. Don't want to force anything. Just instead do a little cross map and look to just gain objectives of their own. And honestly, I respect it. You know, you're not even close yet to that soul point pressure, so you can still give this one up.
And Tower for Dragon against a TP-less Riven is not a bad trade at all. AOE, they're not even going to be able to answer the tower. So Cincinnati, they get the gold. And although AOE, that means they're approaching Soul Point, Cincinnati, I think their composition will be more than happy to wait for Ezreal to finish stacking that tier before picking any major fights.
Ooh, Winnie. Move in here. Maybe they're going to look for
like
something
really staring at each other like menacingly right now. Like this is it's like a Western standoff. Like no 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 no. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
They were waiting for SkyTech. Wait, it's
my
it's
God. It's not much of a Western standoff anymore. Now it's just a bloodbath. The showstopper to try and gain some distance. The flash as well. Dragoon looking to get out of the grand entrance. The Cyclone, everything under the sun, as much CC as they can pile onto him. And they finally grab him. The Blade of the Exile. Finish the job.
And there's a kill for the Riven. Zamudo not even having to commit the Ignite. Dragoon, he got ganked by the Sheriff's office right there. Ends up getting taken down, and that is going to finally net Zamudo that tower. Remember, Dragoon TP'd to defend that, so well done to the side of AOE. Answering. It's a 400 gold difference. It's going to extend a little bit as Cincinnati fear. Their answer as the pendulum swings back will be this. No, they don't get it.
Yikes, Blaze gonna have to fall back. It is nice to see though, right? They immediately notice that 3-man in the bot lane. Okay, let's try and make something happen. Try and go for that tier 2. Don't quite have that damage just yet though. Answer coming through from AOE Esports. Target to be there. And so for now, no objectives yet on the map, and it's really just gonna be looking for any kind of picks, a little bit of trades going out. Curious to see though who's gonna get caught out first.
And Echo, I gotta say, I'm actually so pleasantly surprised at the pace that this game has been played. We've seen flashes of volatility, right? Like, it's not been quiet. There have been fights and there have been kills, but it hasn't exploded into this crazy fiesta. It's been very tactical, and seeing that from our two top teams here in the OQ, it's just really fun to watch. The chess match happening right now. The pendulum aspect of League of Legends is such an important part of the game. People will say tempo or turns or whatever you want to call it. I know people don't really like the word tempo anymore, but whatever you call that cyclical nature, the back and forth, it's our turn, it's your turn. Each of us takes our turn making plays, and teams with a fundamental understanding of that and an ability to react to it are going to find success at any level of competitive League of Legends, and it applies here in Proving Grounds as well. And these teams have been playing the pendulum beautifully. The turns have been traded back and forth, and it's netted us a very even game.
Yeah, one of these teams has been playing chess, but the other one, they've been playing checkers for years. We just got to find out which one it is.
I thought you were about to say both teams were playing chess.
Oh. Not what I was quite going for. We do hit that 20-minute mark. That does mean that Baron is online at the moment. Very curious to see if any team is going to look to grab that anytime soon. Sketch, need to use that. Oh my! Whoa! What was that? Oh my God! The rocket.
That's a fully stacked Muramana and a Luden's Echo online. Young, casually having 10 CS per minute. Yeah, that was definitely one of those. You know, it's good that Sketch took that rocket now and not like at a game-deciding team fight. I think because that's one that you take in the mouth and you're like, what just killed me? And you're checking death recap and you're like, what did so much damage to me? Speaking of damage.
Oh, yeah, speaking of doing damage, Blaze is about to be checking that graph if he goes down. A very nice little flash, though. Skip, but he runs right into the arms of Winnie. He's saying hello, sticking with him. The denting blows, crushing his skull in, and gonna walk off like nothing happened.
AOE, they want to get this top tower, I think, before Dragon spawns. This is a really interesting play. Clearly not over-prioritizing Soul here, and I don't think they will even fight, or Soul Point, I should say. I don't think they'll even fight for it, but no, they are resetting. That is a lot blown. 2 flashes and an Ignite, as well as the quickness. I think the quickness and the Cyclone will be back up. Critically, Blaze still does not have Flash, but honestly, I think Rakan Flash might be more important before a big team fight, because it's so much of your engaged potential. Maybe they're banking on Winnie to find a Flash engage for himself.
Yeah. Ooh. Zamudo, though, looking to find something here. Oh my God, so much damage. Wow. Just absolutely shreds through them. And that's a pick that is quite good for them. Looks like Plux will be up just a bit late after drag spawns. Should give them the man advantage. So much damage coming up with that Black Cleaver and the Prowler's Claw.
Well, never mind. That's one way to win a dragon fight. Now, wait a minute, Winnie.
Oh my God, yo, Winnie, though. Having to burn that flash to escape. That one, the ghost getting popped as well by Trickster. Drag is online on the map now. The TP coming out as well from the going to get on in there. Yeah, he is indeed. Young is here as well. They're going to look to maybe just shred this dragon.
Now.
Indeed. If Young can just hold them off a little bit longer, they might be able to find something here. Trickster looking for something. It's going to be a smite fight. Trickster going to grab it, though. It's going to be huge. The back is going through as well. Huge storm, though. Huge knockups coming through. Winnie with that cyclone. So much CC coming through. Sketch going to go down and eat the dirt. Young over the wall to escape. Those rockets coming out doing a whole lot of damage. Down goes Trickster as well. He's run out of rabbits to pull out of his hat. And now Dragoon running for his life from Zamudo. The new kid on the block looking to put him in the dirt. But the Facebreaker shield is still going to keep him alive. Or the Haymaker, excuse me. And overall, AOE Esports is going to come out on top.
Area of effect, true to their name, they find the engage. Sky Tech on the flank. That was so beautifully played. Obviously, not getting the dragon feels bad, but I don't think they're too upset about it. Baron has been started. The Fear are respawning, but I don't think it's gonna matter, Echo.
Yeah, no, doubt it very much. Baron, thank you very much for that freebie right there. Looking pretty in pink. Gonna head on back as we get a chance to look at that fight.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so patiently played by AOE. As we're going all the way back to the beginning. When he gets caught, not ideal, but it's fine. He lives, and that's what matters. But keep an eye on these ultimate cooldowns. For Khan, coming up in about 10 seconds. Wukong, coming up in about 10 seconds. So they're using the dragon actually as a distraction to keep Cincinnati Fear here for the fight. You miss the smite, but that's not what you're here for. You want to kill them all. The Cyclone's back up, the quickness is back up. They find the flank. And seriously, SkyTech, what a creative engage angle on the deep flank. Young getting it started with the package as well. It's just exceptionally well done. We can see AOE really climbing to a bit of a gold advantage with that Baron. They're going to want to use this to start breaking some of these towers.
Jesus.
That's a pretty good poke.
Yeah, I feel like in that fight we saw exactly what we talked about during the draft, right? How, oh my, he's so low. How this team synergies are going to be coming up from these ultimates, right? It's just so much like CC, so many knockups, so many stuns. You can't deal any damage if you can't move or use any of your abilities in the first place. And we saw it there. The grand entrance comes in from SkyTech. The Cyclone comes in as well. Just nothing that they can do. And AOE Esports runs all over them.
And we talked about how hard it is to fight into Fear's composition, but it has one weakness, and it's that nobody is actually that tanky. Yeah. The tankiness comes from the Karma. So if you can find a 3-man charm like SkyTech found in that dragon fight, and one of them's the Karma, well, no, Karma wasn't even there actually. So, but the point being, like, if Karma's not able to shield people, you can actually just kind of one-shot the entirety of Cincinnati Fear, and that's what we saw. So so much of these fights comes down to that engage, which AOE Esports has plenty of. And so kudos to them for recognizing their win condition in team fights, which is one-shot the enemy team in the initial snap engage after the poke has landed, and not getting in this long, drawn-out war of attrition.
Yeah, definitely. Looking to just get in there, get their hands dirty, crush some skulls, and get on out. Gotta point to the fact as well, Zamudo, third item, has that Death Dance as well, so he's just gonna be so damn tanky, gonna be able to front line and just do so much damage regardless who he is up against.
And that pick onto Plux, like, was pretty game-changing, I think.
Yeah.
I think that fight looks a lot different if Plux is there, because also, that gave AOE full control of the river off of that pick, and that ends up being a big deal too. If Plux lives there, they can walk in as 5 and potentially force AOE out and not allow them the time to wait for those ultimates to come up. Instead, Zamudo using that Ignite and Prowler's Claw to great effect and just dumpsters the support on Cincinnati Fear.
Yeah, overall, great play, great pick. Have to, maybe I feel like they're at the point they might even have to worry about that as much, risk that as much anymore. But for now, we see No Org and AOE have qualified. Okay, good for them. Let's go.
Yeah, we've got 3 AOE teams back in the group stage. It was 3 last time. It's the same 3 this time. Yeah, unfortunately, Team Ambition ends up going down. They were this close. They were this close in game number 4, and they end up not being able to make it happen. But kudos to AOE randoms, and also No Work not falling short in the OQs. That would have been an unceremonious end to the storied return.
Yeah, I was about to say an unceremonious return as well. Like, not just an end, just like a dual coin there. But yeah, they will. They make it on. they've got another shot to go undefeated in the next couple of rounds.
Maybe they're just doing the Cincinnati Fear tactic of sandbag the first OQ of the split, and then smurf it from there on out.
Yeah, go under the radar a little bit, you know?
Yeah. It is a tower take on the top side, as Cincinnati Fear, again, by stealing away that dragon, wasn't forced to fight here. So, you know, they're going to give this dragon over, but it does mean gold and pressure on the top side of the map. But they are down about 5,000. AOE Esports use that Baron to great effect to grow their gold lead. I think the end result of the Baron power play was something in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 5,000. Most of this gold lead has come from the fight and then the subsequent Baron. And, you know, to give some credit to Cincinnati Fear, it's been a lot of talk about how well AOE has been playing recently, but Fear, their composition is slowly coming online. Ezreal with the blue build, looking very blue. He's got 3 items online. There's a Rabadons for Blaze, so they have a lot of spikes. And again, if you don't get one shot in the engage, if you have your Karma able to potentially flash out of the engage or just not get picked before the fight, right? Like, it does become harder for AOE, and despite the gold deficit, it is still going to come down to execution in these team fights, absolutely.
Yep. Speaking of that, looking maybe to find something here. The True Shot Barrage going on, not quite going to find anyone though. A lot of a lot of pressure being applied right now by AOE Esports. I will say, to your point, obviously, as we've seen that Cincinnati Fear is slowly but surely coming online. They got about 4 minutes to do it. The next drag will be up, and that is going to be sold for AOE Esports. And a Mountain Soul, no less, on a team that already is pretty tanky. And, like, you're the ones who need to be tanky when you're Cincinnati Fear.
For sure. Mountain Soul, not the best here, but, like, it's one of those ones, I feel like Mountain Soul's always like, we take those, because it's not Cloud Soul.
Yeah.
Like, it's never the best Soul unless you're running, like, literally 5 tanks, but why would you do that? But it's also never usually the worst, so I'm sure AoE will definitely be okay about having that one. And I agree, Cincinnati Fear not wanting to let that one go over, and more importantly, not wanting probably the Elder to spawn super soon. Yeah. Because we've been seeing, like, they've not really, I feel like, had vision in the bot river for the last 10 minutes of this game.
Well, Baron is up now. It's live. Nice to see. We're going to look to pressure things here. Already seen a lot of pivots coming through, though. When you're looking to clear some vision. Slowly but surely, we're seeing the movement coming out. If Cincinnati Fear can maybe find that pick, then maybe they'll go for it, or do you think they're just going to try and force it?
I don't think Cincinnati Fear is in a position to force it.
It'd be very risky. It would be very risky.
The worst thing you can do as this composition is overextend, because then that's when you open yourself up to the engage. And I think Cincinnati Fear, they're content with the pace of the game right now. It really will. I think it'll just be farming for the next 2.5 minutes. Yeah, Baron's on the map, but AoE can't really rush it either. They have the Secure with the Callisto, but the damage, while good, isn't insane. Like, there's no, like, Azir or Cassiopeia or, like, anything like that that really shreds the Baron. Poke Corki, not the highest DPS, more so just about the rockets and everything like that. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Third party, Zamudo's old team ends up getting eliminated. Unfortunate for them. And as I say that, AoE, they're going to start the Baron anyway, but quickly thwarted.
Yeah. See the rest of the side of Cincinnati Fear looking to move in. Actually, though, Trickster pops the ghost, looking to try and get into the stuns coming out, the slaps, hitting him with the left to right. Zamudo running for his life, does get smited down. It's just not too much damage coming out just yet, but they are just running them out of their own jungle at the moment. Curious, though, they're going to look for that re-engage. Yeah. Lot of damage coming out though. Young just needs to start chunking them down with those rockets, so if they can get them low enough, they can definitely set up for something here.
Skytech.
Skytech looking for something here. The rest of the squad isn't quite there. Fake call. Not gonna send him in though. Bit of a bait just to spook him off, and honestly, it does work out at the end.
AoE is showing very phenomenal restraint this game. I talked about it earlier in the pick they had on Blaze, countering the gank. Now in this one, they corral Cincinnati Fear, but they never overextend forward. They don't overcommit into a bad engage. They know that they need to find the perfect one, and they end up getting out. Now that was a very risky Baron take, but Trickster was barely not able to get in there on Zamudo and Winston, who kited out perfectly. Now with Dragon spawning in 45 seconds, this recall does actually mean that AoE lose control of the river. So Cincinnati Fear, for the first time in 10 minutes, they get wards in the bottom side river. Also, Supernova, they made the 3-0 run on day 2. They have made it. Congratulations to them. Making it back into the group stage.
Yeah, team I've been hyping up for a while, so nice to see it. They make it in, but they definitely are still going to have a long road ahead of them. But regardless, so does Cincinnati Fear if they want to get back on top in this game. Still around 5-something K gold down. Math is not my strong suit, so I'm not even going to try and make it accurate. I'm just going to keep it 100. But I can do the math and say that in 10 seconds, the dragon is going to be up. So that means that this is going to 100% be a scuffle. If AOE Esports can secure this, they grab themselves that Mountain Soul, putting themselves one step closer to winning this game. And already they're looking to find something here. Huge Cyclone coming through with a nice little two-man knockup. The fight already getting slightly separated, though. The shield coming out from Dragoon. Going to use that showstopper, but it doesn't even matter. He puts himself into the dirt there, basically. Absolutely amazing focus. And now Zamudo looking to find a kill. What did he just do to him? Grand entrance onto Sketch, but he is going to use that arcade chip to get away. The Kai Burst as well is going to allow him to stay on top of Sketch, and he's going to be sketching what the afterlife looks like. Down he goes.
The initial focus from AOE was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but Zamudo on the back end cleans him up basically on his own. A little bit of help from Skytech to get the arcane shift off of Sketch, but this Riven pick, blind Riven mind you, has gone crazy this game. We are 5 CS from a Flame Horizon. We talked about the solo lanes of AOE and how much they enable this team to do. Young fell behind Blaze a little bit early, not so much in that it was his fault. Mostly Blaze got the early kills, but the commitment onto Blaze in this team fight was beautiful, cordoning him off in the choke. And Young and Zamudo have done so much in these team fights. Winston as well, starting it off with the Cyclone. So beautifully played. AOE, second Baron of the game. Now they look to break the base.
Yeah, and I think also just the position necessity also has something to do with the fact how much we've seen Zamudo popping off in comparison to Young, just because obviously Young needs to be poking them down, right? So he has to be staring them into the face. He needs to be there with his team, but we're going to have to put that point on hold because they're looking to go in a very nice quickness with a double charm there. And goes to Cyclone as well. So much damage! And they get the double kill there as well. Looking to find Plux too. Down he goes. And that should be it. Gonna try and find Sketch here as well. Arcade shift out of his own base. He's running the distance. The flash, it doesn't matter though. Hit him with the thumbs up because that's the last emote you're ever using. Down he goes. Blaze, last man standing. Cincinnati Fear. If you want to put up a fight, now would be the time. But it's a whole squad of AOE Esports. It's not looking good. Goes into the dirt. And AOE Esports are looking to move on and have that 5-0 track record.
Third time's the charm, and AOE will lock in that 5-0 first overall seed in the OQ. They have finally done it, and they continue to look dominant against every single team not named 100 Thieves next.
Yeah, like you said, right, this is the third time around. The one time they're not against 100 Thieves to put them in their place. They're like, yo, we got to pop off. And what better team to do that against than Cincinnati Fear, who's been going undefeated so far up until this very moment. Amazing plays coming out from AOE Esports. A team where even when we were looking at the comp, we were like, it's going to get dicey, right? It's going to get tricky for them to win this thing, and they still pull it out.
That was a hard comp to play. I'm just going to say it. A comp with Callista and Riven in it, that is a hard comp to play. And AOE played it beautifully. The focus in team fights, the engages, the restraint, which is something that I was really pleased to see, especially from this team in particular. Again, they're an all gas, no breaks team, but after watching that game, maybe they do have some breaks. And it was still true to the AOE style as well as that damage from Young. Wow, that's substantial. Jesus. But, you know, it was true to the AOE style. It was about Winnie in the early game and his rotations, and it was about having agency for the solo lanes of AOE. This is what we expected from them as they scaled up into team fights. And it was so true to their style, but it was such a different look from them in such a positive way. And I'm really pleasantly surprised. And for Fear as well, you know, it obviously unfortunate to drop here, but you are still primed and ready to go for the main group stage as well. It was a very solid game from them. It felt like they had a lot of the right ideas, but AOE, they just were on top of it.
They didn't come to play today, man. They came to dominate, and they did that, exactly that. Amazing to see. And with that, they're going undefeated. They are 5-0. Cincinnati Fear taking their first L today, so they are going to be 4-1. But regardless, definitely still a good position to be in. Like, nothing but respect to them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're going to go into the group stage as the number 3 seed, as they were, I think, our 3rd seed team in the seedings.
Yeah,
and even though they made the 4-1 match, because they're finishing with the same record as 100 Thieves Next, and 100 Thieves Next was seeded higher. Oh, we got the graphics of the qualifying team, so we can just show it to you anyway. That makes it so much easier as we do see the qualified teams. But this means that Fear, as going into the main group stage as the 3rd seed, they will be heading up their own group, which always feels good.
Yeah, definitely. These are your top contenders. I hope your team is in it, because if not, they get sent home packing for right now. But regardless, congratulations to every single one of the teams playing their hearts out. Amazing stuff. We got to see a lot of these teams in action today as well, showing us exactly why they deserve to be here, why they deserve to have that spot. Now they got to fight for the top 10 slots. But regardless, unfortunately, that is it for today. Actually, that was our last match. It was a day full of banger. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm exhausted, because some of these matches really all of the matches we got to put on today were absolutely insane.
It truly was exhausting. All 3 games here on the Academy stream, absolutely. They were great games. They were very competitive through and through. I think the most one-sided game somehow was the first one between Jake's Kittens and Cincinnati Fear, and that was, although firmly controlled by Fear, still very competitive for Sketch to get a pentakill. And throughout the day, what an insane time it has been. The OQs have completed, but the tournament has only just started, Echo, and I cannot wait to be back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's kind of insane, right? It's open. It's the opening qualifiers, and it's already actually like, what? This is something that I would expect to see. Like, okay, we're maybe in like quarterfinals or something. Like, no, like the action's already going, and it ain't gonna stop anytime soon. Even if it is the last match for today, the teams will keep moving on into the circuit qualifiers themselves. We saw the rise of Cincinnati Fear. We saw the fall of them as well. The fall in quotations, obviously, 4-1, nothing to scoff at. But regardless,
it's pretty short fall.
It's still, it's minuscule. But regardless,
it's like when you miss a step when you're walking down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you catch
like,
close one. Oh, close one indeed. But all of this wouldn't be possible without our lovely sponsors for today, and that's Atlantic, HyperX, and BenQ. Zoe, thank you so much for making all of this possible and allowing us to bring these matches to the people. But with that, we do have to say goodbye. Hawk, thank you so much for joining me today, bringing some of the craziest energy I've seen in a while from any color caster from around the rift, the bird's eye view, allowing us to see every little thing happening, giving us all that big brain knowledge of yours. I've been Echo KO, and thanks so much for watching. Hope we see you guys next time. Have a great night.